Welcome to the Dynasty Chat, the ultimate podcast for NFL Dynasty football, covering the latest news, player analysis, and trade strategies to help dominate Dynasty leagues. League mates, fellow Dynasty managers, and members of the fantasy football community will join in to debate, break down moves, and share their expertise. And let's be real, there's nothing better than staying one step ahead of the competition. This show is here to help you do exactly that. Follow us, and let's get to it.
You remember one thing, this you better hear. You want to talk all this old school bullshit about the rules? Well, here's a rule you might remember. I'm the fucking one who calls the shots.
But yeah, let me get to the big news of why I called you. You are our resident Dallas Cowboys and Raiders fan. Okay, so yeah, Micah Parsons traded to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks, a defensive player, I believe, a linebacker.
Yeah, they got a defensive tackle.
Yeah, a defensive tackle who's pretty decent, and a ton of money. What is it, like $47 million a year, something like that, which is like over $6 to $5 million more than he was demanding or negotiating with Jerry Jones for. How do you what are your immediate thoughts on the trade and you know how everything went down?
The contract he got was solid. It's 4 years. It's predicted it's like 4 or 5 years at $188 million, with 136 of it guaranteed.
Yeah, insane.
And Dallas got two first-round draft picks and a defensive tackle. Now, with that being said, though, he only played 13 games last year.
Right.
So I think with the fact that he couldn't get things done with Dallas is going to kind of not sit well with him, and he's going to want to ball out this year.
Right.
And I think he's going to get hurt probably like the 4th or 5th game of the season.
So from what I'm hearing from you is, are you thinking that Dallas won this trade, or are you thinking that Green Bay kind of overpaid? I think that's what I'm hearing that you're saying.
I think Green Bay overpaid, and I think Dallas would win the trade if Jerry Jones was not the owner, because you give a good general manager 2 first-round draft picks for the next 2 years. I mean, you get general manager those picks plus whatever your pick is. Well, a good general manager can negotiate those either up or down the draft or for different pieces that your team may be missing.
Right.
They just renegotiated Dak Prescott's contract
right
in March.
$60 million a year.
Yeah, so he's 4 years. His contract's not up until 28. So even if I think they're banking on Arch Manning staying an additional year in college, which would put Dak Prescott in roughly his final year of his contract, and you'd have that first-round draft pick in 27. So if you decided to tank in 27, you could go after Arch Manning, still have a year left with Dak, and then cut him loose, providing he stays healthy.
All right, so what I'm hearing is from you is that the Dallas Cowboys have essentially punted on the 2025 season. That's what I feel like I hear. Like, I think
they have. They still have. Yeah. They have Season Wayne. They have Dak. They picked up the Pickens dude from Pittsburgh. But they have probably 2 years left in Dak and CD for them to do anything, and then they just traded away their best defensive player for 2 first-round draft picks for next year and the year after. That to me screams, we don't believe in the team we have. We need to start planning for the future after these guys leave.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can with what we have, and they'll still be competitive, don't get me wrong. they're not making the NFC Championship, and God knows they're not making the Super Bowl.
Well,
they might make it to the wild card game with the way the divisions are stacked up.
Well, from where I'm sitting, they weren't going to do those things with Micah Parsons regardless. They failed to do those things in the past 30 years, and the Packers have been getting the better end of those playoff matchups against the Cowboys for the past 10 years, 5 years, as long as I can pretty much remember. So yeah, it's been pretty rough. So my take on this thing is that it's not as horrible as a lot of talking heads in the media are saying. What is horrible is Jerry Jones's negotiation tactics and the fact that he let this thing drag on until a week before the start of the season. I think that his belief, his own self-belief in his ability to get this deal done is pretty much his undoing in this, because from where I'm sitting and based on the moves that they've made this past year, like you said, bringing in Pickens, paying CeeDee Lamb, locking down Dak Prescott, even back to when they attempted to, lock up Ezekiel Elliott. These guys, it seems as though Jerry Jones thought that this team was ready to compete, and they have this mentality up there of we're gonna go for it, I think that's how they position themselves. And yet they didn't pay Micah Parsons, who is a key piece of that defense, which kind of puts them in contention to win a playoff game. So it's like they're 1 foot in, they're 1 foot out, and I just think Micah Parsons was like, I'm not having any of this. You're gonna pay me or I'm gonna make your life hell. Case in point, laying on the side of the field during that during that preseason game. And I think he was prepared to go to war with Jerry Jones, and Jerry Jones blinked and he said, all right, I'm not gonna pay you, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to get as much as I can out of, the trade. So for me, it's a little late in the game to do that. If they had done this before the draft, oh my God, great. But the fact that they waited this long just kind of points to the dysfunction and the weird way that Jerry Jones does business. What do you think about that?
No, I agree. I mean, in all honesty, if I was in Jerry Jones' position, I still have Micah Parson for 1 more year.
Franchise tag.
I would have sat him on his ass on the bench for his final year of his contract, and then I would have franchise tagged him halfway through the year so he couldn't become a free agent. Just tanking his worth, and then I'd cut him.
Well, I think that's one way to look at it, but I think that Micah, even though you cast doubt on his ability to stay healthy, all the top defensive guys have injuries. TJ Watt, Hutchinson, you name them. Every single one of them, except for maybe Myles Garrett. I think even Myles Garrett has had some injuries as well. So all the guys who have
injuries though is he's going to want he has a point position.
Right.
Just like the people who are under contract here, they fall out so they can get into this.
Well, I'm gonna push back just a little bit, and I'm gonna say Micah Parsons. And before I even say this, please guys remember, I'm a Giants fan. I want the worst for the Cowboys. I want them to suck. But let me just say, Micah Parsons has had 12 sacks, and he has been a perennial Pro Bowler, defensive, player of the year type player for his entire career. So the idea that Jerry Jones was going to be able to tank his worth, I think that he knew that he couldn't do that, which is why he traded him. Because I agree, normally he probably would have gone to war with the player who had a lesser resume than Micah Parsons, but I think that he knew eventually he probably couldn't win that, and that he might as well just go ahead and cut him loose, especially since I think Jerry Jones has come to the conclusion that we have all come to. He's finally had his come to Jesus moment and realizes that this team cannot compete at a championship level as it is currently constructed. Dak Prescott, great fantasy quarterback, but I don't see him getting it done. And He's already paid all these guys. Like, I just think Jerry Jones knows that even with Micah Parsons paid and possibly being the highest paid player at his position in history, that they weren't going to win. So you might as well cut him loose. That's what I think.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, he's starting to realize that his championship, endeavors are not going to come to fruition before he passes away. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in reality, the Raiders have a better chance of winning the division than the Cowboys do, and they have to go against the Chiefs and the Broncos.
Yeah. I don't see the Cowboys competing at a championship level against the Eagles, for instance. I mean,
the Eagles, the Redskins. I'm not gonna call them the Commanders. That's
right.
Stupid.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's be men here. Let's make a note to refer to the Commanders as the Redskins, because fuck that. I agree with you as well. But yeah, I don't, so I think he realized that, and that brings me to the trade. I see a lot of people saying that, he could have. I like the 2 picks, or that I think I heard a lot of people saying in the initial fallout of this that trading Micah Parsons within the conference was foolhardy. And I think that if I'm Jerry Jones, or just take the Cowboys out of it, if I think that I won the trade, why wouldn't I take 2 picks off of a team that perennially puts its foot up my ass every year? Let's say that you're right, and that Jerry Jones believes what you just said, and that Micah Parsons is not going to stay healthy, and that he is not going to live up to the massive contract that he just got. If I think that, then yes, I'm going to take 2 picks away from the team one of the teams that kicks my ass every year. I think that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the track record of big contracts the Cowboys have given out, and then the following year's performance.
Right. It's a running joke.
Huge contract, got injured. They gave Tony Romo huge contract, got injured. Same thing with Ezekiel Elliott, didn't perform as well. Des Bryant, same thing.
Right.
I'm curious to see what CeeDee Lamb and now Dak Prescott again this year does, given the fact that they restructured one, signed a huge one for the other one. How much more money was Jerry Jones and the Cowboys going to enrich on a bunch of what ifs?
Yeah.
But I do think Micah Parsons balls out this year to the point to where he gets sidelined a couple games.
I think
just because he has that, there's going to be a chip on his shoulder of like,
yes,
I got a point to prove. Not only that, this franchise just paid me 136 guarantees. And basically handed over their future with those draft picks on me. I have a point to prove, and I'm going to prove Jerry Jones wrong.
I think that's absolutely right. I think that I guess this brings me to the next portion of the conversation where I kind of get your thoughts on if there are any fantasy implications from the trade, because yes, this is a defensive player, but because of Micah Parsons' stature and his potential, let's call it, to change a franchise and to do what we think that he might do or has the potential to do, which is compete for Defensive Player of the Year and to prove Jerry Jones wrong. I think that it has actually massive fantasy implications, even though we're talking about a defensive player. And
you put Micah Parsons on the other side of the ball, and let's say your quarterback is playing against Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
If Micah Parsons does his job, that makes your quarterback have to throw more, right?
Correct.
So you could potentially get more points, more yardages, and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you have a running back and you're going up against Micah Parsons, well, your running back might be sitting in the stable blocking all day long because they're having to throw because now they're behind.
Correct. This is what I was talking about in the Dynasty chat in the other league last night. I said all of us who invested in NFC North pass catchers, you guys, we like it could be a double-edged sword. Yes, these guys are going to be running for their lives trying to, deny Micah Parsons 15 to 12 sacks, and this might result in more fantasy out production for guys like the Williams pass catchers. I think Caleb Williams is in deep shit. I'll tell you that. Okay, I think that the Vikings and Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson is going to be fine because he's got a young quarterback who's probably going to want to throw it up to him anyway. And then you have the Lions who have, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they got a ton of pass catchers over there. And I don't know of Jared Goff to be the most mobile guy ever. So for me, this kind of bites into, Jahmyr Gibbs a little bit and maybe upgrades the fantasy value of guys like maybe, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, just a little bit. Not much, but I would say just a little bit, to your point.
It definitely will. It'll raise their value a little bit, but it's going to lower your value on the running back. It's going to lower your value on the tight end that you may have from those teams, because that's 2 games a year that this dude's going to be headhunting.
Yeah, making your life hell, or trying to.
So,
yeah,
it'll be interesting. But I think the Packers won the trade, providing the Cowboys don't crap the bed on the picks.
I think I don't like the idea of the Cowboys punting on the season, but it does raise interesting questions about how they're going to run their offense, because now their defense, which was, it was scrappy and they could get after you, right? But now I think they're going to be in a Bengals type situation where their defense is trash and Dak Prescott is going to have to huck this ball up to compete. And again, I think that's great from a fantasy perspective for CeeDee Lamb, for George Pickens, for who's your tight end over there? Ferg?
I don't remember who he is.
I want to say Ferguson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great for those guys, and but yeah, I think the Cowboys are competing now with the Giants to not be 4th place, because I don't believe in that, Dak Prescott to rally these guys and
They're not winning any one-score games. That's for sure.
No, that's
in order to maintain, just like the Bengals had to last year.
Right.
I think the Bengals scored more points in the game. They averaged more points than any other team in the league, but they also gave up more points than any other team in the league.
Well, I think that's awesome for anybody who owns Dallas pass catchers this year. And I'll leave it at that. I don't want to give away too much sauce for what you guys should do in an upcoming draft, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and raise CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens just maybe a spot or two on my draft boards if they are available at this time of year. So yeah, my last thing, and I'll let you go, is we touched briefly on the Packers. I think that, and I'll just give my thoughts real quick. I think the Packers have shown us that they are all in on Jordan Love, and they have given him every single thing, including the giant contract, and now potentially the best defensive player in football, in addition to an extremely young wide receiver team. I think on average they are the youngest team in all of football. I like that. I think that with their coach, that they have shown that they are all in on this kid, and that I think Jordan Love, if he has it in him, this is the time to show it. So for me, even though I was a bit lukewarm on the Packers as far as fantasy pieces, I'm kind of warming up on them a little bit now because of the extreme belief that this organization has shown in this kid. It makes me kind of want to, maybe I'll pick up, the new rookie wide receiver over there. Maybe I want to believe in them a little bit now because they're all in. This contract's insane. Like, they're tied together for at least the next 10 years, 7 years. Like, this is marriage.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jordan was a good quarterback. He always has been. It's just a matter of
Right.
And he did well last year. He did well the year before. He continues to get better like he did last year. No, I mean they're going to be a contender for like the next. I would probably maybe not a Super Bowl contender this year.
Yeah, I'm not going that far. I'm not going that far.
Next 2 years, they'll make an NFC Championship game.
I can see that.
Just given the talent, their youth, their contracts. Within the next 4 years, I can see them playing for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, those Lions and Packers games, if they were intense before, which they always are, wow, that is must-see TV, dude. I'm there. Wow. Yeah, those games are going to be incredible because, Dan Campbell, he's not going to roll. And they did lose their defensive coordinator, but they should get Hutchinson back this year. And I am excited to see Micah Parsons try his best every week to embarrass Jerry Jones. I'm excited to see that.
And I believe he's going to do just that.
Yeah.
He's going to probably embarrass him. I would probably say 14, 15 weeks out of the season.
Yeah.
I think with Micah Parsons on the team, Green Bay Packers just got 3 more wins.
I think that's fair. 2.5, 3 more wins. I think so. And that could be the NFC.
Exactly.
That could be the whole NFC because I don't believe in the Niners this year, and the Lions, I don't know about their defense. I love their offense. The Vikings love their offense. Don't know about their running game. Don't know about their quarterback. I don't know. Who else is in the NFC that we really want to think about? The Eagles, they're great still. I mean, I think
the Eagles are good, but I think the Redskins win the division this year in the East. I put the Eagles second. I put the Giants third. I think the Cowboys bring up the rear.
Wow, you're even more bullish on my Giants than I am. Why is everybody more bullish on the Giants than me? I'll tell you this. I'll bet on my Giants. With the departure of Micah Parsons, I'll bet on my Giants to beat you guys in week 2. I'll take that. That's about it. Like a surprise upset type of thing.
Yeah, no, I think that if the Giants can keep their quarterback situation under control and healthy,
oh God,
I think you guys have a chance to come in third in the division. Split the series between the Cowboys and the Redskins, and maybe get swept by the Eagles.
Yeah.
Just because they're still good, but I think the Redskins have a little easier schedule ahead of them than everybody else.
All right. Well, listen, thank you for sharing your thoughts on this with me. I am going to chop this thing up, and I'm going to try to put it out by maybe later tonight. And, thank you. Thank you for the talk.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, don't forget, work on your draft board. Have you got your draft board ready? Because our draft is this Sunday? Yep.
I haven't even looked at it, to be honest with you. I'm shooting from the hip this year.
Don't do that. No. Bro, do not do that. Shooting from the hip? Oh, my God.
You asked me to talk about Parsons today, and I pulled up some stats on his statistics just so I can have some stuff to talk about. I'm like, all right.
Oh, God. This is Dynasty, man. We're trying to fix this thing. I need everybody locked in to make the best team that they could possibly make. Come on, man.
I mean, the last 2 years, I won the division. I shot from the hip.
Yeah. All right. Listen, you got your own methods. I'll leave you alone. I just wish you the best. I'll say that.
Fair enough.